Thanks for staying with us. So many have heard of the Accord Party, but a lot of people didn't really pay attention to them until much recently when the former lawmaker, Shinapeller, became a member of Accord Party. And everybody says, who is Accord Party? Well, today, joining us on the show is the president of Global Wealth System and the presidential candidate of the Accord Party. We have with us Mr. Christopher Immumolen. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Christopher.
Professor, actually, yeah. I do apologize. Professor Christopher Immumolen. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
So, before you came on, we were talking about insecurity and other. But before we go into that, let's even meet you. Let's know who you are and why you became the flag bearer, or how you became the flag bearer for the Accord Party presidential flag bearer.
Okay, my name is Professor Christopher Immumolen. I'm an academia. I had my first degree in University of Benin, my master's, University of Lagos, before I proceeded to having my PhD. I have 2 PhD, and I'm also the Vice Chancellor of Global Wealth University in Togo. I've been an academia for years, and I'm probably the youngest, the youngest in the presidential race. I'm 39, and I saw politics as an opportunity or a venture to solving more problems. I'm a philanthropist. If you check what we've been doing for the past 15 years, I've been actively involved in humanitarian support. Because I believe that the job of rescuing a nation is not just that of governance alone. Individuals like us should also see how we can also contribute to supporting lives. So we've been doing that, providing electricity, rural electrification, women's support. I'm the founder of Unique Foundation. It's an NGO that is focused on women support for business and for youth. We've been doing a lot with that. But looking at the events that have been happening from 1960 till date, where it seems as if we've been moving around the circle. I watched the show before coming in, and what has been happening, not just today, it has been happening, it's more like it. So for me, I believe it's time for people who believe they have what it takes to transform Nigeria, who understand the solution to every issues that surrounds Nigeria.
So let's start with the insecurity solution. What do you think? How do we go around this? What kind of solutions could you prefer to help in this situation? Okay,
number one, apart from every other challenges that bet insecurity, the major in all of them is economic hardship. I know we have religious problems, political, ethnic differences, but hardship. What happened yesterday in Castina, it's basically, look at, even those that attack are not, they're not in the forest. When we had an attack on the former governor here in Lagos, they're not. There are people around who are trying to take advantage of an opportunity that, I also am able, I go out, I see the way they want to launch on us. They'll give us money, and if you don't manage those situations, it could turn to violence. Yes, so, and this is a reflection of the economic hardship. Castina State has about 6 million people. How many industries do they have there? What are the frantic efforts of government to providing jobs? Currently, over 40-something% for FBS unemployment rate. But the truth is this, over 70% of the workforce of Nigeria are underemployed. We are producing for ourselves. People are supposed to be out there positively engaged. And when they do nothing, it results to what we currently have.
Yes.
When we talk about these problems, people in power, when they come to respond, they say Nigerians' problem is complex. We're a lot of people, we're plenty. There's so many factors you need to think of. There are different tribes, different religions, different tongues, and you cannot come and be insensitive to some conditions. And so there's always a different approach of how to face a problem. So when you talk about economic plan now, for instance, they'll tell you, it's only grazing, across the country that can, because some people's history will be insulted, some people's history will be affected, How would you say these factors that, they clearly always bring forward, how would you say they would affect any plan that you have? And if you consider them also a factor, how would you face them?
Yeah, for me, Nigerian problem is not rocket science. Solving Nigerian problem is not rocket science. It takes a man that has the heart and the value of the people. Look at all our problems. You discover there is a problem of value. Yes, it takes a leader who has value for its people. let me just shift away a little from security, which are going to come back. Look at the educational problem. ASU strike. What is the reason behind that? That our children is still at home after 5 months, and nobody is trying to talk about it. It's like a forgotten issue.
Election is around.
To me, it's an issue of value. We need a leader who has that value. So, for example, looking at economic hardship and what you said about other leaders coming on board to say, oh, the problem of Nigeria is complicated. It's not complicated. Yes, it's not complicated. Yes, Nigeria to me is a country of, I call it the union of 6 wives. Whatever you do to one, you must do to all. Otherwise, you're going to divide the country yourself. So it's very important for me. So what we'll be doing, creating jobs for Nigeria is not a big deal. I just came from a travel where I've visited a lot of countries. And beyond that, you know, if you check my record, you will understand that I'm not just an academia. I've been into businesses for many years. And there's one thing I understand about Nigeria. We are the most populated black nation in the world. 200 million, that is a huge market. But as a country, we've not done our own work to have people come in and invest into this country. There are own work we need to do. There are things we need to do to make Nigeria safe. Issue of security. How can we combat security when we are not digitalized and investing in technology? How do we watch? In security, there are intelligence you must capture before crime would happen. Crime only happens when 2 things happen. One, opportunity to commit crime, and desire to commit crime. A man can have a desire to commit crime, but once the opportunity is not there, crime will not happen. In Nigeria, the opportunity is there because we are not copying that opportunity. We have 2 satellites. And most of them are even, some of them are they're outdated. They're not even, how do we watch? You know that part of the world.
We lost one during wasn't just time.
Yes, one is there, but it's expired already.
Okay.
How do, in other countries, government watch the activity of the people, but in Nigeria, only God watches us.
Okay, let me talk for coming
I hear you, and we've interviewed a lot of presidential aspirants, a few presidential candidates, and some of them you just feel like this person is just, they're not ready. I listen to you, and I'm feeling like, you should be more involved. Why choose Accord? Because it's very, we've not had the precedence of a, what do you call those parties? Fringe party getting into power. And we need your brain to give advice to the people that are already in power. So why didn't you think of getting into the main parties, fight your way through with your intelligence and all this knowledge that you have to see how you can influence what is on ground, as opposed to thinking you can come in from another party and shake up the structure?
Let me say this. The problem of Nigeria is Nigeria ourselves. It's not God-made problem. And the system with which you go through to solve the problem matters a lot. I have a belief, I don't know, but that is my belief, that the man that will radically solve the problem of Nigeria must come outside the system that we have. It's just like an organization. Once an organization is having a repeated problem all over again for 30 years, what you must do at that time, you must look for someone outside that organization to come in, someone who don't have any affiliation with any member. Because the problem is internally. Look at the problem of our security, just analyze. This problem is, we caused the problem ourselves. There are a lot of interest involved. So we must begin to look at someone who does not have an affiliation with, it might be very difficult, like I understand, but we must fight through. That is what we are doing, to make sure that we fight through, because I'm not just running for political office because I want to become a president. I'm running because I have seen a lot of problems, and I know I can solve those problems. For me to solve it, I must go through a system that,
You talked on education recently, and I mean, I was going through the list of cut-off marks. I think it's either for the common entrance or WASC. I'm not sure which one this was, but I got it from a very reliable source. There are different cut-off marks for different states, and I would like you to address what you would do when you become president. There are states like Abia State is a 130 cut-off mark. Lagos State had about is 139, 133. Enugu 134. But some states like Zamfara, 4 for male, 2 for female. This is an example. Yobe, 2 for male, 27 for female. Taraba, 3 for male. Ogun State, 131. Niger State, 93. Kogi, 119. So there is...
It's like we're joking.
It's like we're joking with ourselves.
we are not.
So in some areas, if you just get scores 2, you can pull through. What do we do to ensure that the quality of people that we are raising in the Nigerian system is actually functional for this new 21st century that we're in.
Yeah, see, let me say this. When it comes to education, if you check, I'm not saying this, just check my profile. I'm probably the most educated. Yeah, I also own a university. It means that I have value for education. I'll be giving scholarship. After this show, I'm going for a show where I'll be giving about 100 and something students scholarship into university. I understand what it takes. One, we live in a country that our educational system is decayed, especially in the north. And I'm not saying this because I'm from the south, but it's the reality. We must start all over, from the nursery and primary school, especially the government-owned schools. It's very, very important. There are no facilities. And again, what I also propose is, one, if we, as a nation at this stage, do not start thinking about digitalizing every sector, most especially the educational sector, teaching. And many people actually felt that, oh, those in the north are not digitally savvy, they don't understand. They are already. For us to have an equilibrium in our educational balancing from the south and north, digital education will help a lot. Yes, because, one, the quality of those teaching them matters. Yes, I am an oil and gas person also, and sometimes we have oil and gas training in other places, and it's very difficult for us to even find an instructor that can teach oil and gas engineering in a particular state, looking for instructors. So how do we make sure that I'm a professor and I want to teach someone in Zamfara so that they can have the same knowledge and quality like a student in Lagos? Employing digital education is one of...
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have with us Professor Chris, I like to call you. Immumolen. So, yes, go ahead.
Yes, so I like what I'm hearing this morning, and I'm excited because the problems we're having in the country is not because we don't have great minds. It's not because we're not intelligent enough. It's just because there's something about the system when you finally get in where you are stifled by everything. Democracy is there to slow you down. This rule of law is there to slow you down. The people working around you are there to sabotage you if it's not working in their interest. Are you thinking in that direction to say, how do I stay above and insist that this is what I want to do and go ahead and do it? Because Nigeria will happen to you if you finally get there. And people who, you know, like the cabal, the people who run the country want to make their input and tell you how it's going to work.
Yeah, I truly understand that. And that is why I chose Accord as a party to run under, because we know those persons who they've tried their best to have governed Nigeria to this point, but it's just that their best have not been able to pick Nigeria to where it ought to be. So first, selecting credible team is very key to me. And most importantly, one of the very first things I'm going to do is to digitalize the economy. It's very key. Because any system that has so much human input for a process to go through would always be born to have a lot of corruption. So we are going to look at digitalizing a lot of processes.
The system will push back, because I can tell you for a fact that even digitalizing in small groups, the kind of pushback government gets, that wants ordinarily to digitize a system within the civil service, the kind of pushback you get. So it's not going to be that easy. NUT will come out, carry placard. What the other ones always carry placard? NLC. Everybody will start carrying placard, and they'll cripple your government.
No. It will be done, and it will be done with wisdom. Yes. When the follower begin to see a leader that is moving in the direction of the masses, I tell you, there's going to be a lot of acceptance. What is happening now is, everything rise and fall on leadership. The kind of leader you have, the body language, and what is doing matters a lot to how the responses you get. Yes, there will be pushback by those who don't want the system to work.
Yeah.
But once you begin to see that you have a leader who is concerned about the welfare of his people, whose policies is geared towards the people, whose body language is towards the people, believe me, once there's a pushback from those who don't want the system to work, there will be reinforcement from those who want it to work. Yes.
So there's a people way of life factor here that we have not even considered. So Nigerians encourage what that we are having. When we turn our blind eyes to a lot of misnomers around us. And we see it never reach my turn, no reach my side. So, and you can't rule or lead yourself. You have to lead a people. That particular way of doing things that Nigerians are already comfortable or used to live it is not that much. It's not really that hard. I mean the issue of no consequence. What are you going to do to change that mindset in the shortest time? Because it's 4 years for your first term, if you can get in, and another maximum of 8 years. If you want to see results, you need a mind shift of the people. How are you going to start? How are you going to do that?
You know, first, Nigeria have only accepted to live this type of lifestyle because the system accepts it. That is why when you see Nigeria leave the shores of Nigeria, they adapt
change.
immediately.
Before.
It's the system. Once the system is designed, see, adaptability is now one of the characteristics of human being. It was not there before in our days. It was called Mr. Niger D, but now it's marriage. Adaptability has been because human beings adapt to the system. Once you design a system, the design of Nigeria's system allows us to operate because there's no consequence. There's no reward for good. There's no, people are killing them. How many people have been arrested? How can a president convoy be attacked? Even if it's the, what's it called, the advanced team, and we are living like this. So it's the system. We have gradually become a country that has a serious systemic problem.
Let's talk about the Constitution, because, I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, there is that, the fact that people feel that there's no equity across that document. The fact that a certain group feel marginalized. Yeah. And that group feels like, yes, we are the dominant force. And you cannot win an election without us. So there are so many factors. So as a candidate, what are you doing to get to these various ethnic differences and religious differences across the country to get them to know that you are here and you're a solution to our problem?
You know, I'm from a polygamous home. Let me start from that. My father married too, so I know what it takes when one sector of, you know, even Nigeria is, we are from a unit of a family. Let's look at it. And I said this, that Nigeria is a union of 6 wives. Whatever is done to one must be done to all. For you to have equity. You don't say, oh, this particular wife is so wicked, let me give. Then what you are doing is you are making another wife wicked. Since wickedness will bet more advantage. So we are going to be looking at that document, the Constitution. I, for one, believe that if we have a ministry of, for example, a particular region, then you must have ministry for all the region. That is fairness. Yeah. That is fairness. Don't say, oh, we are giving ministry to this region because so they are destroying. Yeah. I'm from the south. I should even, but we need a neutral leader who says this is it. We must look at those documents. We must look at.
I like that, 6 wives.
Yes, we must. It's a union. It's a polygamous union of 6 wives. Whatever is done to one must be done to all. And
I know 6 wives. They have plenty children. They have Edo inside. They have these. They have more children.
Yeah. And they feel like they should have more because they have more children.
No, yes, they feel that they have. For example, we talk about local government sharing. Yeah. For me, local government sharing should not be done on the basis of land mass, on the basis of population. Simple. Because allocation is to the people, not to the land. So we need to begin to look at how to. So when we talk about constitutional reform, it's key for us to move forward as a nation.
So the Accord Party will look at.
We strongly look at it. A neutral president is what we are going to.
I'll come to you, Tokwe. Let me take this call from Charles. He's calling from Germany. Good morning, Charles.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is my first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and secondly, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Please, I want to comment on that of the attack on our president.
Yes, go ahead, please. Your view.
Yeah. I think it's a very good sign, and it's a message that was sent to him. If somebody like that can be attacked, what about the ordinary citizen on this side? And I strongly believe that our politicians, our leaders, really knows exactly what is wrong with Nigeria, especially in security aspect. Because with what is happening, with what is going on, with their body language, there is no doubt that they really know what is going on in our security situation in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
The killings is very, very enough for them to rise up against it. There are much sentiment in what is going on in Nigeria's security.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Tokwe.
So I wanted to ask you, because I hear you and I love what you're saying. You know, you are speaking our language, you're talking to the issues. And I wish that many people would just hear and be able to implement what you're doing, because we cannot even wait till next year to start implementing these ideas. How about, how open would you be with working with this current administration within the time frame that we have to sort of see how you can? And I know you feel like you need a neutral person, but is it possible for you? Do you see any possibility?
Did they offer you the opportunity to work with them?
With this current administration to try and create a short-term, because from now to next year, we far, you know, and we need to do something.
Yeah, okay. Number one, the challenge here is how do we solve the problem we are in? For example, look at what I did to ASU. Personally, I had to open one of the digital learning site of a partner university, and I said, all Nigerians are home now due to ASU strike. Go online, register, and study for free with the university. I did that myself. Gave all Nigerian university students who are at home, because I understand the value for education. You know, when you have, sorry, I'm coming back to your question. When you have, what's it called, disruption in academic calendar, what you have done is, people don't even understand what that means. It's like taking medication and you have dosage and you stop halfway. You know, when you have to start all over again to get that treatment. So when you have this student, by the time they go back to school, they would have forgotten all they were taught from year one.
Before.
And it will affect national development, competitive advantage of our own citizens towards international build. I don't look at Nigeria. Nigeria is a country in the globe. We must have competitive edge. By now, Nigerian students should be thinking about space, going to space, building space technology, robotic, artificial.
We're trying to eat.
That is the problem. So, I, for one...
So why are they not even having online classes in the interim?
Which people? The ones on strike?
Is it the professors that will teach?
Look at people, they're on strike.
Yes,
please, let me let you jump in.
Let me just ask you this question. So I know that the founding fathers of Nigeria, when they sat down and had a conversation, the idea was to have a democracy that will be based on regions, a regional federalism, where every region can know the needs of their people and present it to the center. But after the military, everything was now changed. That's where the beginning of our problem changed to a unitary system of government, where it now seems like nothing happens till an order drops from the head. Considering the number of, even at the time they had this, we're not even as many as we are now. Considering that, do you think that the right thing is to go back to that truth? Because Nigeria, honestly, in my opinion, this is not a democracy. This is not federalism. This is not what we're operating. We have a name for it. So do you think that in solving our problems, we need to go back to the original design of Nigeria?
Yeah, I think that in solving our problem, we must look at our country holistically and begin to look at our peculiarity based on region and begin to look at how we can tackle this issue. I believe so much that we must begin to give power to states, to region, so that they can also control their resources. It's very key. And have them productive again. You know, in Nigeria, we have more than 4,000 mineral resources yet unexplored because of this system of government, where everybody rely on the federal for everything. So you make the state lazy. Because every month what they do is they wait for federal allocation.
Yeah.
But yes, we need to begin to look at that. And that is part of what we are going to do. We need to begin to see Nigeria beyond just a country. How do we run Nigeria as a business entity? Not in a way that every state should also be productive. And what federal government should do is to support and give that relevant and what's it called, trade support to each state to be able to harness their resources and also add to what Lagos State is doing fantastic. Port Harcourt and some states that have opportunity to have people, to have businesses, to have access to crude oil and the rest of them. What about other states?
Oh, that's it.
It seems like the foundation of your manifesto is really economic growth, which I think is what I'm taking from you. Let me let you mention here.
So the kind of politics that is done in Nigeria again is one that they will say, where is your structure? So we've seen presidential candidates, governorship candidates who cannot win their own constituency. What's your network or this plan like? Because you know the reality is different from what we're saying. So you're an amazing candidate. I've heard you. I've listened to you, and I wish and pray that you'd become president. But if the structure kind of politics they run remains a factor, how would you tackle that?
Yeah, okay. You should know that this particular election is the longest since 1999. We normally would have 3 months after primaries to election. Now we're having 8 months. So for us, it's good. And if you also study my antecedents, you understand that I personally have been involved in a lot of grassroots mobilization for the past 15 years. Yes, personally, I have worked with Unique Foundation that has over 5 million membership across Nigeria, with people, individuals who have been supported all over the 36 plus FCT 37 states. And we understand that we have 176,000 plus polling units, and we know that we must fix agents in all these polling units. We must get people to vote for us. We understand that. We are building our structure. We already have, and we are building more structure. We are collaborating. We might not be out there shouting, making noise. But let me say this. Election this year, next year will be won by strategy, not by noise. If it's by noise, look at some parties. I won my primary. There are other aspirants in my party that made more noise than myself, but I was more concerned about the votes. How will I get 20 million people? How will I work to get them? That is my concern. I know what I need, and I'm working towards that.
You know, it's interesting because what I love most about this season is the fact that we're seeing lots of people like you come out. Because what NSAS taught us, like, let's say, we cannot remain the way we are going to. So regardless of what happens in 2023, the fact that there's so many younger people coming into the picture that you can't say you don't have options. You can't say there's only APC, PDP. You cannot. Because there are so many other parties coming up with new faces. And I like that you said strategy, because I was telling you that my husband had 4 friends that were running for politics. 3 of them made noise in all the major stations. They put on social media. They were making noise. He was sort of like, wow, wow, wow. All of them lost. He was the last one that didn't hear how. He didn't even know he was even running for office. He was doing groundwork, strategy. He was talking to the people. Now he can collect tickets. So it's not about noise making, which I like that. But let's go back to your candidacy. Who is your vice presidential candidate, and how did you? Because now they are talking about we have to select. You have to carefully know where you're coming from. How did you select your candidate, and what are the factors you consider? Because this is always a factor in these kind of issues. Yeah,
my VP is Sule Ahmed from Zamfara. He was a former SSG to Zamfara state government, and is a strong member of the Accord, and is also a strong Northerner. You know, I'm from the South. And of course, for fairness and equity, I'm a South Christian, so I must be looking at the North Muslim. You know, I know. So he's from Zamfara, and he's a technocrat. He's also a politician, and we believe that union is a good one to harness both the South and North. Are
you married, sir?
Yeah, I'm married with 5 kids. Yeah.
Don't pass me. You pass me. You pass me.
They're all 5. They're all boys. So.
Oh, you have 5 boys?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, then.
Children.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. I'm happy that somebody passed me. Fantastic. Hallelujah.
Yes.
But we wish you all the best. The truth is that, I mean, as I said, we knew of Accord, but there was not so much noise until shinapeller became a member recently.
And it was because of the way he came in.
So we're all like, well, what is Accord Party? But I'm happy that obviously you have a lot of leaders who are quality, and I know shinapeller has always been one to push quality leadership. So for him to join the party, he must have also studied that you guys have a whole bunch of quality content.
You didn't answer my question, and it was really important.
Please answer. You have about 1 minute.
Working with the current administration.
To advise, and we're already working indirectly by supporting all what I've done. I've not come here today to castigate their work. I've not come here to speak against any. I'm going to be engaging in positive campaign. It's not about what this person. I'm looking at the problem and how do we solve the problem. That is what I agree. So if, for example, now we are asked to advise, it's about the nation. We have to advise to. It's about the people. Every day we are losing life. You know, if 200,000 people die in Nigeria today, no world leader will send a condolence letter. We are left to ourselves. Because our conflict is self-inflicted. Our crisis is by ourselves. So we
have to run. Final words to your voters.
This is the time for us to vote for personality. Let's check our credentials. Let's check what we have done. If I had given thousands of Nigerian scholarship with my personal funds, then it tells you that I'm willing, capable, able to resolving Nigerian problem within the shortest period of time.
We wish you the best, Professor Chris. All right, that's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.